You can
Okay.
cut me off, but it's like, yeah. So, okay. So you have a master class coming up, and the master class is in what?
It's for expectant couples to what questions to ask. Who do you go to ask the question? When you find out you're pregnant, like I mentioned, there's the encyclopedia. What comes first, the egg or the chicken? And each time you have that question, it opens up a whole nother encyclopedia of questions. It's a never-ending story. And on the questions that you ask, how does that align with you in the answers?
What are the questions that people ask? Because you've been doing this for how many years?
More than 43. But so where do I start? What doctors, what nurses, what hospital? What do I eat? I'm not sleeping so well. My stomach, I'm throwing up. I'm nauseated. Whatever their personal experience is, where do I start? Do I have insurance? I don't have insurance. What are my options? I'm scared. I don't, the question in money comes in. How much is it going to cost? Oh, I'll just go to this hospital because whatever. But I didn't look at the stats from this hospital. 98% epidural rate, but I want a natural childbirth. All of these questions and more comes into play. And I thought the best way I might be able to serve someone, especially new families with today, is to have a platform to be able to ask better questions. Successful people ask better questions. The reason I had the radio show was to learn how to ask better questions. And we don't take life out of the story. You're doing life and being pregnant. So in my world, house sinks in a sinkhole. What do you do with that? You still got kids and babies, and you lost a loved one. How do you do that? Where does that go? How can I support myself? Need a job, just lost a job, and you're pregnant. Real life happens. And we have to be willing to ask a better question. So we get the results we really would like to have. So that's why I'm doing it.
So if I'm a mom to be, and maybe I've had previous experience and I'm curious about, that every birth is different. So, what's that about? Or if I'm a first timer, if it was planned or expected or not.
Yep.
Yeah, all the related questions. I think it sounds like you'll be giving insight to even people, places, and things that they can put in order, and steps that they can take, steps that they can take, right?
Yes. Resource list. What are the resources in the community that can support me? Wherever you are in the spectrum of resources, what resources are local? And sometimes the biggest resources that are local are the friends of our family of choice. We might have our regular birth family, but the grandma down the street who loves seeing you, loves having tea with you, She might be one of your great resources. Or the moms and tech groups, or the Little League leader, or the senior center. They come in all places and things. I love asking the story behind the story when I'm interviewing. Like this one gentleman, he was adopted, and he found out that his birth mom knew who had adopted him. He didn't know that. And he became a nurse. And she was so proud of him. She could still keep her tabs on him. She loved that idea. You don't know who you're talking to, but their life lessons have something of value to share. The dads so desperately want to have their questions and answers and the support. There's not really a lot of dad doulas out there. So many families didn't even have a dad. So where do you find those dads? How do you reach them? I've had people who have had just their friends step in the gap. And they've created that experience, that role model. Life is quite rich. It can be hard, but it also can be very loving. And what would be the most loving thing we can do? Help the next generation on the path as they climb Faith Mountain. And we all do. Sometimes we fall, but we get back up.
That is kind of the human spirit, isn't it?
It is.
Really
Human
is.
experience.
You've created a certification program for doulas that you've been teaching, and women have been stepping forward who, in some cases, didn't even know that that's what they wanted, and some probably wanted it from the time they were born. And so I don't know that people know that about you. Will you have some of those people there to also talk?
Yes, it's open to the public. It's open to the public. Whether they're doulas, midwives, we do have a number of them who've registered. CEOs. I think it's an interesting experience, and I think everybody's got something to contribute. But more importantly, to reach out to the ones that are kind of lost or scared or just don't know. And we all, doesn't matter how old you are, come to a point of we just don't know. We're not limited to an age group, but we are making the opportunity to grow together. And yes, I love the teaching of the doulas, putting them into a birth right away. Real life experiences makes the learning exponentially growth happens with the immersion. I love that. It's like a little kid in the sandbox who squeals when they find a new toy or they discover something. And we're willing to learn at a higher speed and a higher rate because it was real. And the confidence you build because you had real life experience behind you, and you saw that you brought value and support to that mom that you didn't know or hadn't used that skill set specifically in that way. And now you have a quantifiable result that what you did to bring that person comfort worked. Then you want to know more. How can I serve them more? And everything is more. And it's just that life force energy of inquiry that lights up your soul.
I think, yeah. What I want to say is thank you for providing an opportunity that's open to anyone to talk about life and to talk about health and to talk about the things that are important to all of us now and with our children and with our children's children. Because that's a dialogue that we really need to start moving on. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for creating the space today.
You are very, very welcome. You are always welcome.
We are very blessed, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We absolutely are. It's an amazing world.
It is. There's a lot of good in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like anything else. When I was in school, it was always the troublemakers that made all the noise and got all the attention for a short period of time. And it's like the rest of us were just, we were at school, we were trying to learn something, we were trying to get along with each other and all that. It's like that's what it reminds me of. It's just like, who's got the megaphone?
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to stop this for a second because I don't think I
Yeah.
want to record this part, but